We're going to start recording because I forgot I have like a full memory card. So,
Okay.
this is going to take a few minutes for this to set up because I used quite a bit. But you can see how it's already starting to get clearer on her neck.
I can feel it stiffening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He concurs.
We cracked the "that's what she said" joke about 20 times in the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Just as a little fill-in, Chris and Laura here, I'm actually in a band with these guys, and we just filmed an episode of a cooking show. Why we're doing this, I'm not sure, but it was fun. We made nacho casserole. And the result of this was about 30 or 40 different instances of cracking the "that's what she said" gag.
Yeah.
So this is going to take a few minutes to dry.
What are the differences between like latex, then you hear foam, and
It's actually a great question.
silicone foam? What are the differences?
There's a lot of differences, actually. That's a great question to address. What we're working with here is RD407 latex. This is affectionately referred to as Muppet latex. This is what everything in the Dark Crystal and the Labyrinth was made out of. The formula's been around for years. It's very stable. It's easy to work with. It does dry a little stiff. It's not the most flexible foam in the world. For stuff this size, it's great. Foam latex is a two-part bakeable process you have to go through. You'll mix up the two, actually I think there might be even 3 depending on the system you're using. You mix up the 3 ingredients and you need to have, more often than not, a 2-piece mold for that. More expensive, way more time involved, but the result is a lot more lifelike, and it's usually custom fit to the actor. Generally with foam latex, what you'll do is you'll start with a life cast, so you'll have a stone positive or a plaster positive of someone's head. You'll sculpt the appliance on top of that, and then you'll make a mold of the appliance already on the head of the face. Depending on what you're doing, that process can vary a little bit. Afterwards, you clean all the clay off of the positive. You put the mold of the appliance around the positive and then inject the foam and bake it. Foam latex tends to have a very spongy quality to it, which means it works very well moving with your face. The only place it really ends up being a problem is around the eyes, around the corners of the mouth. They require a little bit of touch-up. So for that reason, most artists will kind of keep that in mind. It's a great material for that, though. Most of your monster movie effects are done in foam latex. Silicone is something I've only recently started working with. I actually have to hit up the guys in Smooth On for some more sample packs to figure out what it is I'm doing. Silicone has a very very lifelike, very translucent feel to it. If you ever look specifically at your wrists and anywhere where you can start to see the veins come through your skin, like the crook of your arm, not mine because I'm fat, but actually, yeah, you want to put your hand in front of the camera.
Yesterday they gave us this, if anybody wants to look over at the Smooth On.
Is that the molding latex?
Yeah.
Or molding silicone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty similar. The stuff that's been most popular lately is called Dragon Skin, which has a very squishy, lifelike, fleshy feel to it. Has anyone ever seen the movie Bicentennial Man? I didn't think so. No one else has either. The reason I bring it up is there's actually a scene where they're sculpting a human face on a robot, and they're using what I believe to be dragon skin silicone, and it stretches to like 5-6 times its normal size, snaps right back, and looks like human skin. It has a very nice translucency to it. What were the other materials you had mentioned? Those are the ones. I know there's been a lot of use of
Watermelon.
Pardon?
Watermelon.
I've never used watermelon. A lot of silicone and mask making lately too, which I'm trying to get into.
What do you use to paint the silicone? Like make a...
I actually have some of that. Silicone, unfortunately, as they said in the life casting demo yesterday, nothing sticks to silicone but silicone. For that reason, there are. See with me. You have a silicone paint base, which you can get from Smooth On. I got this from Delius. And this is just a set of pigments. You can make your own silicone paints. I actually will, when I'm making any pullover masks, which is what I do more often than not, I'll actually mix some of that pigment right in with what I'm casting. Creates a nice base tone, and again, gives it a nice translucence. Silicone paint base is fairly inexpensive, but you don't get a whole lot. With latex, what we're doing today, I'm actually just going to be using a basic grease paint kit. And I think this one was like $39.99 from monstermakers.com. Anything you get from Walmart or anything will be just fine. Again, I really wanted to do this on a budget because that's what a lot of people seem to be concerned with. Just a real basic grease paint kit.
Would water-based cover too?
You can use water-based, any of the cream makeups you get at the Halloween store or anything like that. It's very straight ahead, it's easy to use and it's easy to clean up. The reason I'm using grease paint is because that's what I have. Like I said, you can get this kit at Monster Makers, you can get, I think, cream makeup from fxwarehouse.com, you can also get these. There's also what's called alcohol activated makeup, which is literally, it just comes in dry cakes in a little tray. You add a little bit of alcohol to it, it comes to life. It dries up again. It's like you're working with watercolors but with alcohol, which works out. Pardon?
You already find alcohol?
Yes, fxwarehouse.com. Delia's Makeup will be getting them in if you're local. Monster Makers, I believe, is going to start stocking them soon, if I remember what Arnold and I were talking about the other day. Has anyone ordered from Monster Makers before? If you ever get a chance, give them a call, talk to Arnold. He's the owner. You can actually find him on Facebook too. I think it's Arnold Goldman Monster Makers if you search on Facebook. He's a really great guy. If you ever have an issue, he will be the one to usually fix it. He called me on a Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to fix a problem with my credit card on his day off. So the guy is dedicated. So this is taking a little longer to dry than I'd like it to, but we need to get moving.
Good though?
Pardon?
Your neck is good though?
Yep. So I'm going to ask you to tilt your head back a little bit. When I'm applying these, I like to start from the center, because that means I can... Good. So, oh yeah, that's good. So I generally start from the center of the appliance, and just kind of tack it down with a brush, and then work my way out to the edges. What that lets you do is smooth any of the ripples out. Now, we're kind of getting into a compound curve here right around Laura's shoulder. This is probably the first place the appliance is going to lift, so I do want to take a little bit extra care kind of blending that in. And if there's any areas you didn't get with glue, just a little dab will do. The thinner you put it on, the better sometimes. And you can kind of see already the edges lay down nice and flat, and they start to disappear into the skin because there's really no defining straight line. I'm hoping that's coming through on the camera. And I usually overbrush just a little on the edges to start to blend things a little bit. Anybody have a watch on? Know how we're doing on time? Quarter to 11? All right, I'm going to try and speed this up just a little bit because I don't want to keep you guys any longer in case you're going to other classes. Anyone else? There's a bunch of them going on. Actually, kind of...
Matrix demo on stage for kids and their
Okay, so let that dry a little bit. And actually, I was going to do 2 appliances, but since we're running a little bit later than I'd like, I think we're going to stick with this one, and I'm going to show some kind of cool painting techniques. Where's my wide wedge? So, get our Skin Illustrator palette. And a lot of these I'm going to be using straight out because eventually I am going to paint most of Laura's face. So I'm not super concerned with blending skin tones. Again, in a dark haunt, you kind of want to compensate for what it is your lighting is going to be. That's going to depend on what room your actor's in. I find that if your actor's going to be in a dark room, you might actually want to use some unrealistic colors. Blue and pink veining tend to stand out really well at night in darkness. And that makes for a little bit more of an experience for the haunt goers. You know, if they can see pulsing veins in someone's neck, kind of looks creepy. I did want to address one other thing that I'm not going to get to use, but has anyone ever worked with cabo or cabo patch? All right, this stuff, generally you have to make it. You can buy it pre-made. Where did my cabo patch go? tell I'm extremely organized here. Oh, there it is. Laura, could you hand me that little white jar there?
You get the ingredients for that in the pharmacy, right?
For a cabo patch? I'm actually not sure about the cabo sil. I know that there's a couple different recipes you can go by. This is what I use. It's affectionately referred to sometimes as Bondo. I can't do that because my father is an auto body guy, and when I say Bondo, he assumes I'm using that red stuff that you used to fix the dent in your dad's car that you hope he never saw. What this is it's a combination of the adhesive we're using, Prosade, and I'll put that somewhere safe because I really don't want to clean that off the tile. It's a combination of that and what's called Cabosil. Cabosil is a powdered silica desiccant. You know those little packets of stuff you get in any furniture that's supposed to soak up the moisture? Same stuff in powdered form. For that reason, you have to be wearing a respirator when you mix it. Okay, nothing. She's not paying attention. Once it is in this
What?
nothing.
One time you should have been paying attention because it really is putting you in danger.
No. Once it is mixed, though, it is completely harmless. It's just a mixture of Prosade and that Cabosil powder. The reason you need to wear a respirator is because it's like I said, it's powdered silica desiccant. If that gets in your lungs, it sticks there forever. If you inhale too much of it, it will actually cause things like COPD and things like that. When you mix the two together, you want to get it to like this sort of, everybody's seen marshmallow fluff, right? Same basic consistency. That's just a thicker version of that glue we used a few minutes ago. What you use this for is actually blending harsh edges. Like if you've got to trim an appliance, you can actually use this to blend away that edge. And that's how you get things to blend in a little more. I'm going to use it real quick, just in this bottom edge here, because I want to. You can see how it covers up that edge. And it dries fairly quickly because it's already in a cream form. You can get this pre-made from Monster Makers. I think they call it Prosade Cream instead of Cabo Patch. I'm not sure if it's the same formula, but it is the exact same consistency. It's the same basic idea. You blend that out, and your edge is gone. So that's going to take a sec to dry. So we'll start with the inside of the appliance, I think. Grab another brush here. So, creating depth. One of my favorite subjects. Like every good wound, we're going to have some red. I'm just going to scoop it out.
That feels so weird.
So, and this is kind of bright and purpley right now, but we're going to deal with that. Turn a little towards me. Actually, no, I'll move so you can stay on camera. God, it looks really red up there. That looks damn near pink. Really wish I had some better brushes now. Where's the other brush? This is probably my favorite brush you can use. It's just a real basic chip wedge brush. Again, you can get them at just about any craft store. The reason I like it is it's shorter bristled. There is a point on it. It's almost like a calligraphy point on a pen. And it lets you really get in there and fill in some of the crevices. Now, a lot of this is just background color because we are going to be applying some liquid and gel blood. And you can see we've got a little bit showing there, but not too much. Then to create a little more depth, I just go back in with some blacks, a little bit of brown. Start really kind of... About 10 minutes? All right, we're going to speed this up a little bit.
So I guess even people that don't have anything to do with it,
What's that?
so I guess the people that don't have anything to do will have to leave anyway because probably more passing than
And you want to just vary the color a little bit just so it doesn't look like you've got a big red patch there. So you can see they're starting to get some depth in there. I don't know how well that's showing up on the big screen up there, but if anyone can see it.
I'm not sure this accurately represents my insides, Gus.
Fifth.
I feel there's more blue.
You gotta get the rainbow.
Feel the rainbow, man. Double rainbow all the way. So, all right. because I like using this brush, we're going to use it on the flesh tone too. All right, next up, start blending out the flesh. So this is the pace I generally move at when I'm doing a zombie party now. It's going to be a little purple, but that's okay. You're going to be a little purple all over in a minute. So,
I would likely be some greasing around a little bit.
what's that?
There would likely be some greasing around a wound like that.
Absolutely. Thank you for validating my mistake. So, this paint job is going to be kind of haphazard, so please forgive me for that. I think after we're done here, I'll probably take some time to touch this up in the back of the room so we're not interrupting any other classes. I won't be able to answer questions, but you guys are welcome to stick around and watch. So, and I used to work for a construction company, and one of our mottos was, you know what it takes to fix a 2-inch gap? 24 inches of feathering. So the further away from your wound you get with your feathering, the more subtle it gets. I really wish I had picked another brush now. And I can need you to turn towards me a bit. Unfortunately, grease paint is not the fastest way to do this. Cream makeups generally go a little speedier. And when in doubt.
Time to use the blenders.
What's that?
It's time to use the blenders.
Exactly. So now I've had to leave some of these edges unpainted a little bit just because, like, we were running short on time. I really don't want to take my mouse in. So one of my kind of favorite techniques is veining. Veining helps break up the edge a little more. And again, you want to go in with darker tones, blues and purples. Make it look like.
Have you ever given your prosthetics an intrinsic color?
Like mixed in with the latex. I actually do that quite a bit with my masks. I don't do it very often with these because I usually end up pre-painting them, and I kind of wish I had done that here, but I wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what it was like to paint them on the spot. With veining, I just kind of want to go thin and squirrely. I really wish we had more time to do this. How are we doing on time? We're probably about 11 o'clock now, aren't we?
3 minutes out.
Ah, jeez.
You got about 2 minutes.
Really wish I had more time to sit here
Is
and
there
do this.
another class in here?
I'm pretty sure there is. There. It sounds like they're right outside, actually.
It's hard to tell with the way
11:15.
because they're not following the script.
They'll probably do it.
And this looks really purple up on that screen. So, all right. So, unfortunately, we haven't really had time to paint this the way I really want to. That happens a lot. And there's one really great, easy way to hide it. Blood! So, Chris, if you could hand me that knife.
And you what?
Nothing.
You missed the look on her face. You were supposed to take a picture of that.
I'm just dropping the ball over here.
So, actually I have two kinds of blood I want to show you guys right now. One is scab blood, again, from Ben Nye, and you can get this at Delia's or at monstermakers.com, fxwarehouse.com. And it's just a nice gel. It's very much the consistency of jelly. and makes for a great. It's very dimensional, which is great.
Ooh, that looks really gross.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So I like to work that right into the cracks, over the whole.
Can you do some cracks?
Which one is that?
This is Ben Nye Fresh Scab. Laugh it up, go ahead. And when this dries up, it'll have a nice, chunky, crusty look to it.
The blood does dry.
Yes,
does it?
it does dry fairly well. It stays very gel-like,
Okay.
but it does dry and it does get a little crusty too.
So you always get that shiny appearance.
Yep, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. All right, and there's one more quick blood technique I'm going to show you guys, and then I have to make room for the next guys here. I actually make my own blood. This stuff is not safe to eat, but it is safe on just about everything else. It is made of this is just food dye, acrylic paint, and water-based furniture clear coat. What's that? Actually, it's just a little bit of red and brown. Laura, could you stand up?
I can.
All right, and here's what I like to do with this. Little rubber spatula, same one we use to mix up plaster. Dip it in. You face me? This is why we don't have carpet. That's not working quite as well as it should.
I gotta say, no one has ever done this to me before.
Oh, didn't mind a little snot with that.
Nonsense. I take enough allergy medication. My sinuses are thoroughly dry. But you can also use an air compressor.
I feel so close to you now, guys.
And just a little.
This is where you like to have a breath mint video.
Have you ever been?
Huh? Do what?
This is where you like to have a breath mint video.
So did you ever think this would be a result of us being in a band together?
No.
What's that?
I like the idea of the air compressor because you could just splatter that
Yep.
crack all over the place.
Just a little dripping. And it is actually fairly easy to clean up. It does not come out of clothing because, like I said, the food dye.
You don't want that shirt.
And there you go. So I'm sorry we didn't have time to paint it a little better, but I hope everybody kind of got a little bit out of that. On your way out, please grab a couple of the appliances, grab a sample of Prozaid, go home, make stuff, have fun, and support every haunt you can, because there's not enough people like us in the world.
Do you know of any good suppliers in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area?
Don't, unfortunately. Your best bet, talk to Monster Makers. And if you guys want to grab a few extras, go for it. There's little sample bottles of Prozaid in here. If everybody wants to grab 2, there should be enough for everybody in there.
Are you gonna put more stuff on my face?
Not right now.
Okay.
How do you go about storing your appliances?
I actually just powder them, keep them in a Ziploc baggie, and it's just that.
Baby
That's
powder?
it. Yes, a little bit of baby powder.
You don't have an issue with them
Should I turn this off?
distorting?
For things this small, not usually. For anything like a mask or a larger appliance, I want to keep it on the form that was sculpted to fit. For these, because they're so flat, it's usually pretty easy.
So if you were going to make these for the haunt, just lay them out on the table and apply them every
Just keep
night?
them stacked. I would keep them in a pile just like they are there, and that's how I did the last zombie party I did. Person would sit down, go right there. One other quick thing on materials and how to save money. Who uses stipple sponges? Anyone? All right, stop buying them. Go to your local pet store.
Fish filter.
You got fish filter and lizard foam.
Oh.
I paid about $8 for all of this. So, and that is one of the best ways to did that. Look. Come on. There you go. So cool. everybody grab some goodies, and then I'm gonna clear out of here because I think I'm probably pissing people off at this point.
Does it say the name of the product on it?
And no, it's called Prosaid.
Yeah, how do you just spell that? Because I just did it phonetically.
It's on that bottle.
Prosaide. So, and you can find it on Monster Makers. Monster Makers' website is really easy to navigate. Just click makeup supplies, adhesives.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Go over any,
Did everybody turn in their
packs?
little yellow tickety thing?
I remembered the name of the clay place and I looked it up.
Oh, you are the best.
There
Thank you.
is, and I looked, they do have Prosaid, or not Prosaid, they do have UltraCal and HydroCal.
Awesome.
And there's the pricing underneath there.
You're the best. Thank you.
And if you need, if for any reason they're not around or something, just email me because my daughter's teacher knows all the, a lot of the area because she's, does that.
Thank you. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to demold the appliance we made earlier, but it's pretty basic. You just pull a shell off, clean the clay out with a wooden tool, and pour in the
I
latex.
didn't realize it sets up that quickly.
What's that?
So I didn't realize it sets up that quickly.
It actually, it's probably already hard.
Yeah, I checked, I
Yep.
pushed on it to see it.
So is there such a thing as like plaster of aluminum?
Plaster of what?
Plaster of
Plaster of Des Moines?
You're an idiot.
Plaster of Iowa, made from corn.
Plaster of Bingard?
What haunt do you work at?
I actually don't work in a haunt right now. I've wanted to for years. My work schedule just does not allow for it. You can check out any of the other stuff I did at facebook.com/wolfpackcreations. Most of what I do is latex masks. It's more of a passion than a job. I am trying to get in with Haunt Tactics, who you should all go visit out on the main floor. Stan is a fun guy. He's got some great costumes for haunts. And again, check out Delia's Makeup, check out Monster Makers and FX Warehouse.
Is it okay to grab a few more of these?
Yeah, go for it. Grab as many as you want. I made 100 just in case. So.
I didn't know, and I didn't want to be greedy, but they're too cool.
How about I just grab some more
And there's a
Prosaid?
zombie walk coming up.
Yeah,
Gonna take a
grab
bag.
a couple.
Where it
grab a
is
couple.
too, so.
So I was hoping for more people. So go for
Yeah,
it.
I unfortunately have no place that sells Prosaid anywhere.
MonsterMakers.com. They're in Ohio. They usually ship next day. I've never had to wait longer than a week for anything I've ordered from them.
So you got some teeth, you got some tears, you
Yep.
got some slits, and you got some huge.
That's what's on Laura's neck. So you're actually going to
You need to go get what?
I can't do the Vanna thing.
You don't have to sit here.
I'm pretty sure we're not gonna have sex right here.
You're cut off.
Wow.
Because that looks kind of gross.
Not your cup of tea? There are some guys that would kill for that, literally.
I mean, if you want to take a couple extras, feel free. Literally, the appliances here all came out of this full bottle. So I think
believe you
100
said
appliances
that.
for the bottle of latex this size. So it's
So
really...
you didn't go over packs.
What's that?
You didn't go over packs.
Pax paint? Yeah. I generally don't use it for appliances. I generally use it for masks.
Masks.
Use it packs. I'm like, what does video gaming have to... Oh.
What can I do to help you pack up and get
Well,
out
you
of
were
here?
talking a lot about Dick Smith, so it's
How do you
like,
turn
well,
this off?
he's going to talk about packs.
The power button?